Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Rebuilding Fulham. This is episode 14. Now, if I sound a little bit pissed off, that's because this is the second time I've had to record this episode. Turns out my sound card decided to malfunction midway through the recording of this episode the first time I tried it, and that means I lost most of the footage. Lovely. It's going to be a short one anyway, because there weren't a great deal of games in November. So we're going to run straight into this one and start with Spurs away. Now, I was not looking forward to this because something told me we were probably going to get battered, and as it happens we didn't actually get battered, but it wasn't far from it. It could have easily become a battering. We were the proverbial cod in this particular match. Eric Lamela pretty much put us to the sword, and I'm going to stop using metaphors now, but I'm just trying to distract you a little bit while it fucking loads. Right, here we go. One of the problems in this game is we couldn't keep the ball, as you're about to see, as Effie Ambrose will just play it. Oh no, it's Emil Larsson. Someone's ball is launched aimlessly into the midfield. It is Effie Ambrose, I thought it was. He's about to thump this straight into the midfield to absolutely no one. Tottenham will pick it up, bring it straight towards goal, and Lamela will fire one in from the edge of the area. It was poor. Unfortunately, even though we were set to retain possession, we couldn't get it off Tottenham, and we couldn't keep it when we did get it. It was just one of those days. It could have been a lot worse for us, actually, because they scored 2 in the first half an hour. Lamela again, this time from a corner, and I feared the worst, because we barely had a shot in the game at this point. Although it does say we have 2 clear-cut chances. I can't remember those chances, because I certainly don't remember them being worthwhile. It's one of those strange statistics that doesn't always mean a great deal. But you know, it's away at Spurs, so I wasn't expecting much. Before this month, I said 7 points was excellent, 5 points would be satisfactory for us. And, well, this game, away at Palace, we bounced back from the Spurs result. We weren't great here either, but at least we didn't capitulate. Palace were the better side in this game. They also had more possession than us, but we did the all-important thing, and that was score. From a set piece, in fact. Not directly, but almost directly. I think I'd still count a goal. Yulsgaard's ball in, a little bit late out to catch Nikolic. Poorly hit shot in a way, straight onto Effie Ambrose's head, and he makes it 1-0. And we managed to sort of just sit on that for the rest of the game. Palace were unable to take their chances, and that's probably why they're in the relegation zone. We needed those 3 points badly, because we're just starting to hit a bit of poor. I know that is a League Cup game, but still, we needed a win. And I was hoping we could drag that form straight back to the Premier League. Back to the Premier League? We're already in the Premier League. Back home to our next home game against Hull. Unfortunately, it was not to be. And Effie Ambrose, having been the hero in the previous game, turned out to be the villain here. And believe me when I say villain, I don't mean villain, I mean village idiot. Because it was a horrific own goal. It's one of those ones that makes you hold your head in your hands. And you don't need that crap. Hull had no shots on target in the game. The only shot they had on target was the own goal, which we managed to score for them. It was basically Fulham 1, Fulham 1, except the only thing we didn't do was win. Mitroglou, here, this was a good goal. I mean, it was a soft finish in the end by Mitroglou, but it didn't matter, because we were the better side in this game. We deserved to win, probably 3 or 4-0, in fact, or I'd say at least 3-0 if you look at the clear-cut chances, and we did have several chances like this. Mitroglou missed a couple before this, which is why I was so happy for him when he actually got this one in the damn net. But unfortunately, Effie Ambrose decided that he would put in his entry for this year's glol of the season, because this was you do see some of these in real life, but you just got to think, don't put that crap in Football Manager. I know it's supposed to make it more realistic, but look at this. Just slides in, and it's in his own net. Perfect. Just what we needed. And that was a shame, because we really should have been beating Hull. Despite their high-flying league position, they were very, very poor, and we should have won. Our last game of the month came at home to Sunderland, and I genuinely thought we were going to do the exact same thing as Hull. Sunderland were better than Hull, and we were worse than we were against Hull. However, we very nearly did the exact same thing again. This time Thomas Draga, though, our Scandinavian hero, and there's only so many times I can name an episode after this lad, so we're probably not going to be doing that. But if I run out of ideas, you may just see this episode called Draga's Day, Part 2. He is quickly becoming my favourite player on this save. He just seems to be stepping up every time we need him. I'm pretty certain he's our top scorer in the league, just as he was last year, and that's saying something considering we have Kostas Mitroglou in the team. But maybe this system just doesn't lend itself to an out-and-out striker being able to put the ball in the net. I don't know. You'd think, though, with the quality that Mitroglou has, he still has most of our chances. He just misses them. I've just talked all the way over Thomas Draga's first goal, but as you can see, it was a damn good goal. This one, though, horrific defending. Look at Effie Ambrose leaving Sebastian Larsson so far away, and it's a good finish from Larsson. No denying that, but I thought it was all happening again, and we were about to only get 2 points from games that we should have been winning. That would have been horrific. However, Brian Ruiz, who's getting himself a few games now that he's back and his work permit is now valid again, managed to get himself down the wing here. He was brought on as a substitute in this game to play on the right wing. I think Gorgon had to go off injured. Just held the ball up lovely here, waited for Draga. Draga comes in again. Pretty much a similar finish to his first goal, but he does that so well. He does the whole Lampard arriving late thing so well, and he may be very young, but I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. Could be definitely one of my favourite players in this save, and he could be one of the ones that carries us forward, that could stay a part of this team the longest if we keep on building and keep on growing up the table. We'll have to see, though. Right, we'll have a look at the little look at the table. Now, we're ninth, top half, lovely. We're 6 points behind Hull and that sort of grouping, although I expect Hull and West Brom to drop down slightly, but they've had a great start and given themselves a real chance of finishing top half. I would like to try and sneak in here. Our season expectation is finish above the relegation zone, but I think we can sneak into this sort of 9th, 10th, 11th spot. I'd like to get 10th though, because I think I can maybe get a bit more money if I update my season expectations to maybe mid-table finish or respectable finish. We could get a bit more money. I am planning to let Rodallega and Ruiz go at the end of the season because they are declining in their abilities. And they're taking up 110 grand a week in wages, which I would like to spend on 3 or 4 good, solid players that can also improve in the future and build. I'm not sure who yet, I've not decided, but I am scouting them out right now. So we will talk about that later. That's probably more going to be an end of the season thing, because obviously that's when they're gone, so I'm going to have to decide who we're going to bring in to replace them. But I expect Thomas Draga by then will be really starting to relish that role. I think if I don't know how well he is, I don't know how good he is, rather, at leadership, his overall sort of ability, because he's the sort of player that I would love to have as a captain of this club, because I think he could take us far. I'm just going to try and find him in here. Where is he? Here, Tommy. Draga, here we go. I'm not sure what his leadership quality is like, but I'd like to think it's not too bad. It's a 6. He's going to be a terrible leader. To be fair, would you listen to that face? He looks like the fucking Milky Bar kid. So perhaps he's not going to be an ideal one for captain, but I'm sure we'll figure it out, because Scott Parker probably is going to be retiring at the end of next year, although he may not play that many games next year. So we're going to need to look at who potentially could be the new captain of this team. In fact, let's just have a little look at that now while we've got a quick chance, just to make this episode a little bit longer. Just have a look. Marigo, could he play? No, he's not really that great either. Potentially, I'm looking at players that I think we're going to be here for a while. So maybe Dan Burn. He's very young, but his leadership isn't bad. It's a 12. There's potential there for him to maybe do it. Casasola, in the future, is also a 12. I think he's going to be very, very good for us. But perhaps just not quite yet. Gorgon is not going to be here long enough, I wouldn't have thought. Larson, maybe? No, his leadership's a 4. He could, no, not him. I don't know. We'll figure it out when the time comes. I'll probably get suggestions from my assistant manager anyway. We can sort them by that stat. Right, now I think we should have a little look at the stats. Kieran Trippier is our top goal scorer. That would be a bit weird. Top appearance maker. He's been the most consistent, along with Effie Ambrose. Top goal scorer is Thomas Draga. Not really a big surprise there, although you'd think Kostas Mitroglou would probably be chipping in with a few more goals. Nope. He's good, but he's not really been performing that well. Top assister, Scott Parker, doing well. Although Mitroglou has assisted on 3 goals, so you can't fault him for that. He has actually been putting in a solid all-round effort. Most man of the match awards, Thomas Draga. I sense a pattern emerging here. Average rating. Scott Parker is still the best player overall, average rating-wise. But I think that if Draga keeps performing the way he is, he's probably going to win Player of the Year, unless he gets a horrific injury. And I'm praying I pray to all the damn gods that he doesn't get injured, because he is very, very important to the way we are playing at the moment. Just a side note, stadium packs. Decided to get one because, hey, it just gives a nice little sheen to things. It's got a surprisingly large number of stadiums actually in it. It's not difficult to find. Just Google this one. It's really easy to find, and it's got a decent amount. You get sort of 3,000 or 4,000 with it, which is really rather good. Even down to like ridiculous level clubs in England. I did a save I have another save running which I use to test stuff for these episodes of the shows I put on YouTube, and which is done with Ilfracombe Town, which is like I can't even remember what league they play in, Western Tool Premier Division or something like that. Their stadium is in the stadium pack, and I was actually in Ilfracombe the other week, and it looks very different to the picture, but that's because the picture looked like it was taken in 1978, so it's hard to tell. But yeah, so in the next episode we've got a lot of fixtures coming up because it is December. We've got a really, really tough month. I'd like to think we could maybe take some points though from perhaps not Southampton away, but maybe get a point there, win at Burnley, win or draw against Villa. 5 points would be sufficient there, and then we've got Man United, Chelsea and Arsenal. Can't see us getting anything from those games. Maybe at home to Chelsea we can pull off a shocker. That would be brilliant. I mean, just to get one over on them would be great, but I just can't see it happening. But we will have to find out in the next episode. So if you'd like what you've seen, hit the like button, and if you've liked it even more than that, hit that big old subscribe button. I will see you next time. If this video hasn't buggered up and I don't have to do it again, bye bye.